Hello, friends. My name is Shane, and I'm the creator of the Advocate Ministries channel here on YouTube. I'm working on some pretty exciting things. The channel and the direction is new. It's new to me, and I'm very excited about it. In the future, there's going to be a lot of interesting things that are going to take place here on this channel. There are going to be sermons. I plan on doing something of a video clue type of game where maybe there's a video that shows certain footage and you have to try to find what Bible verse is connected to that. Should be fun. And another thing that I want to do is just have talks. And this is one of those moments where I want to have a talk, an icebreaker discussion to introduce myself, introduce the intent of this channel, and maybe even try to, if I'm lucky, help someone or help a few people. But by you viewing, I consider it as us doing this together. So, this video is the first video of one of our talks. And what I would like to talk about is finding your path in life. Finding your purpose. So, I myself have been on that journey since I was probably about 14 or 15 years old. And it has been a long and windy road. It's been very difficult, very challenging at times. And that's why I want to discuss it today. Let me give a little bit of background about myself. I was adopted at the age of 3 and very blessed to have been placed with the people that I was placed with. They instilled a lot of manners in me, taught me right from wrong, and they were a big help to me. Now, at the age of 14, I made a choice in my life. And that choice in my life sent me on a journey that lasted for, I would say, nearly 30 years. It's a big number, isn't it? 30 years. 30 years of trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted in life, and what was important. Not just what was important to me, but what was important on a grander scale for, let's say, the people around me and the mass majority of humanity. Because that was very, and has been always very important to me. Now, I know that sounds maybe a little bit self-serving, but I guarantee you that I made a ton of mistakes along the way. Not only did I make mistakes, but those mistakes affected other people in negative ways. Caused people a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of pain. And because of my experience, I wanted to make this video to try to share some of that, so maybe I could help someone else. Maybe help them further their journey along, or maybe even better yet, understand a little bit more about what finding your path is. what it entails. So let's talk about that for a moment. When I say finding your path, what I'm referring to is finding your purpose in life, your purpose for you, your purpose in service to others, whether that be family, friends. So it all begins with one simple thing. What is your intention? Now, this can be a very confusing thing to figure out. For a long time, because of where my primary family came from and their background, for many years I thought that my intention was to become successful, to make a lot of money, have very nice things, and make a name for myself. That intention sent me down a lot of winding and confusing roads. And it never really did deliver me to my purpose. Because I came to find that I was creating my purpose out of serving someone else's wants. Whether that be through a company, through people that at that time I considered to be friends. It's not an easy thing to do, to define your intention. Intention, I feel, can only be discovered by being honest with yourself, taking moments of solitude, sitting in silence, being truthful with yourself about what it is that you really want here in your heart. And how you go about accomplishing that here with your mind. For a very long time, I walked a very, very windy road. So those winding roads, let's talk about that for a moment. What are they? Well, I've come to find that these winding roads that don't lead to our purpose are loops. They're cycles. And in that cycle, you can be stuck for many, many years, for a very, very long time, stuck in a cycle of hurt and pain. It's an illusion. It truly is. And some of us don't wake from that illusion until we hit a tree. And in doing so, sometimes we're shaken awake. I've been through that experience many, many times. Many times. It's hurtful. You get really hard on yourself, down on yourself. In some cases, and in most cases, instead of holding yourself accountable for your choices or your intention, we might point the finger at others. Or just takes that pile of hurt inside and puts it on other people. Which isn't what we want to do. You see, I believe that as humans, deep down at our core, we truly want one thing. And that one thing is love. Let's think about this for a moment. A person can be stuck in a cycle, in a loop for so long, and beating themselves against that tree so many times. They can become so hurt and so full of despair and pain that one might start to believe that love just simply does not exist. And I want you to know that that is not true. It's not true at all. So how do we break these cycles? Well, you break the cycle by being honest with yourself. Honest with yourself about what you're doing, where your path is honestly leading you, and what fruits are being bared from that path as you're walking it. I would say that a good path that came from a place of good intention would probably bear a lot of positive fruit along the way. And the same goes for a negative one. But the key is to look around in the moment at what you've created for yourself. And to be honest with yourself. That takes a lot of self-accountability. It's a hard thing to do for a person to admit that they're wrong, or they've made a mistake, or a misjudgment, made a bad choice. But I want you to know we all do it. I spent 30 plus years in that situation. But there's hope. Absolutely. So, in those cycles, what I found was I would be stuck in a loop. I would either hit a tree or wake up from it. And then I would elevate to the next cycle. And I would always take something with me. And then when I got to the next cycle, it would start all over again. It would start all over again. And then I would either have to hit a tree or shake myself awake to get through it. It's a hard thing. It's a difficult thing. A lot of people don't want to go through that process. But I want you to know that it's a necessity. And it's a prime example of growth. Growth within yourself, growth about your perception, how you look at the world. These are all good things. We learn from our mistakes in life. No one is born with absolute wisdom, with absolute confidence. That's something that has to be earned. A good example of this would be when Jesus spent 40 days and nights in the desert. He went out there to test himself, to see if he was ready for what he knew he had to do next. Would you say that that's a person that was born with absolute wisdom, absolute self-confidence? I think if we're being honest with ourselves, we might find that it was something that had to develop over time, something that had to be earned. Even if he knew to his core that he was the Son of God, he was still in a human body. He was still a person. And the evidence shows that that can be very, very challenging. So let's take that example. And building confidence, building wisdom. It goes right back to what I was discussing concerning my own experience. Hitting a cycle, being in that loop, either hitting the tree that forces us to move out of that cycle, forces us to give up the loop, or being shaken awake and having I guess what you could call an epiphany about your situation. So where does that lead us? That leads us to one truth, that this is all an experience that we're meant to grow in, that nobody plays perfect, an experience where we're going to make mistakes, where we might hurt ourselves, we might hurt others, even if it's not what we intended when we took that first step onto whatever path that we're on in that moment. It takes courage to keep going. It can be hard. It can be difficult. It is most certainly challenging. But if you walk in faith, hope, love, and trust that the divine sees you, the divine loves you, to put your faith in that, so that way you can blossom hope, is a beautiful thing. It took a very long time for me to find what my purpose was, what it is now. And in those cycles, I made a lot of mistakes. But when I looked back with an honest heart and was kind to myself about where I'd been, what I'd done, I come to realize that each cycle, when I elevated from it to the next one, I brought something with me. And those things that I brought with me as I kept going and kept growing, they all accumulated into every tool that I needed to do what I'm doing right now. And in the moment, I could not see that. I could not see it until I hit that final loop. And when I did, it was an amazing thing. It is an amazing thing. For me. And to feel that way, it affects and spills out onto everything around me. It's given me peace. It's given me the capacity for understanding and discernment. And it's given me joy. A subtle joy. A joy that I've never experienced before. So, in closing, I'd just like to say, find faith. Find faith. If you have faith, hope will blossom from that. And if you have hope, it'll give you the capacity to love. And once you reach love, all you have to do is trust in the process. So carry faith, hope, love, and trust with you on your journey. And remember, each path may not be the final stepping stone, but it most certainly will help you get to where you need to go. I'm glad that we've had the opportunity to have, well, I guess it's not so much a discussion, but if you reply in the comments, then it can become one. But I'm glad that we've had this time together. And if I can leave you with just one more thing, it is stay in the now. This whole process is so much easier when you focus on the now. The past, it doesn't exist. It's not a place that you can physically visit. You can't go there. It only exists in your mind. And because it only exists in your mind, you can release it at any time. It's just up to you. The same goes with the future. We can plan for the future. And sometimes we plan for the future with such diligence, with such motivation and effort, that it starts to become real to us. And that can lead to disappointment when the expectation isn't met at the end. That can cause a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. It's very hard to make good, clear decisions when your mind is in a state of anxiety and stress. And I'll ask this again. If you're in that state, was that your original intention? Maybe we need to let go a little bit. Let go of the past. We plan for the future. Put your intention in the future, but make the core of your intention how you function and operate in the now. And I think if you're willing to give that a try, you may find a little bit of peace. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching this video. This is the first one. Coming soon is going to be my first sermon, which has to do with fortitude and compassion and the remembrance of a charitable heart. Those things might not seem to connect being said like that, but if you're willing to give the sermon the opportunity and view it, it will become a little bit more clear. But for now, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending the now with me. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a beautiful life. Walk with love, hope, faith, and trust. And everything's going to work out. You'll see. Bye.